The last avenue that we're going to explore is looking at how to deal with millennial parents. Did you know that 90% of babies born today are to millennial parents? And as teachers, you might have started to encounter some, but if not, it will soon be a reality. You don't need to be nervous about what you think you're going to hear now. Millennial parents are different from their parents and different from helicopter parents that you have already been dealing with. This is not to say that you will never deal with another helicopter parent again, as many people parent in the same style that they were brought up. Right, the most obvious insight into millennial parents is that they are well educated. More millennials have university degrees than any other generation of young adults before them, and they place a high value on having a family and a meaningful career. A common trend amongst millennials is that they are waiting longer to start a family. Women are forging their career paths before having children. Young couples are waiting until they are financially stable to have children, and some millennials feel the urge to travel and see the world before they settle down and begin a family. In 2015, the average age of a woman having a baby for the first time was 28, compared to 1990, which was 25 years old. Millennials are changing the notion of a traditional family. More women are choosing to raise children on their own as a single parent, and many millennials are choosing to have children before they are even married. They believe that marriage is not essential for parenthood. Millennials are moving beyond an archetypal family structure, and the LGBTQ parents are changing the perspective on what a modern family looks like. Millennials know that they have an enormous amount of parenting advice at their fingertips, and they disregard that there is a one-size-fits-all parenting style. Instead, millennial parents are open-minded and enjoy collecting parental or parenting advice and weeding out what works for them and what does not. Millennial parents want to spend more time with their family. They value having a good balance between work and family time. Millennials are also taking a big step back from the overscheduled days for their children and see the importance of unstructured playtime that promotes independent learning and growth. Millennial parents are also including their children in decision-making process and asking for their advice and their input. We know by now that millennials are digital natives and that they are very comfortable with technology. Most millennial parents will share on social media about their child's first day at school or a piece of their art or a school concert or recital. So these parents are more likely than any other parents to share their lives online. Millennials are also very health conscious and aware of what they are putting into their body. And so millennial parents are concerned with their child's nutrition as well. And lastly, there's a trend amongst millennials to choose unique names for their children. So you can expect a class list in the near future with a few unusual names. Now we're going to look at a few ways that teachers can deal with millennial parents in their classroom. The most important thing you can do is play open cards. And this can be done at the beginning of each year with a parent meet and greet. So do try and hold one of these evenings at school, and it's a great chance for parents to meet you and for you to put a name to face. And the whole purpose of this evening is not a social one, but an informative one. You need to inform your parents how your classroom will run. You will show them how your classroom is laid out and possibly what a typical day would be like for your child. But most importantly, you want to inform them on your discipline process that you will follow in your classroom and possibly that the school follows as well. Remember, millennial parents are educated and they have probably tried a few different styles of discipline at home with their own child, so they might be open to hear what you have to say and what works in the classroom. At the end of the day, you want to all be on the same page. That is the goal. You also need to tell parents what you expect of them. Okay, millennials need to know what is expected of them as a parent by the teacher. You also need to possibly inform them about an acceptable form of communication. If you are happy with handing out your personal number, then you can do that. But if you would prefer email, then you need to tell the parents this as well. Make parents aware of the level of involvement that is required of them. Maybe for homework and assignments, signing school diaries and packing bags. If it's the younger grades, they might need more involvement and guidance. And if you are higher up in the grades, possibly remind them that learners need to start developing these skills for themselves because they are capable of completing these tasks without their parents intervening for them. And just as importantly, you need to tell millennial parents what they can expect of you. Now remember that the emotional well-being and development of a child is extremely important to millennial parents. So reinforce to them that you value an inclusive and nurturing environment and that you embrace diversity in your classroom. There are definitely other things that parents should expect from their teacher, but this point needs to be emphasized the most. The last tip we can give you is feedback. Millennials prefer a more regular and informal way of feedback, opposed to a formal meeting at the end of the year or the term. And although those meetings might be necessary or protocol at your school, remember to also try and keep parents informed along the way where possible. This is not to say that you need to constantly update parents weekly, but remember to reassure parents that if something is wrong, you will let them know that it's wrong, whether it's an academic or a social issue in the classroom. So try and possibly write a note in the diary or send a quick email. These are quick and effective ways to keep parents reassured. And if parents are reassured, they're going to stay away from your door and won't hound you for information about their child. Millennial parents want to be kept in the loop, so try where you can accommodate this where necessary. We are all well aware that millennials are digital natives and tech savvy. And as teachers, you need to be aware of how this will impact your classroom. WhatsApp groups are popular where parents share information and communicate with one another. There are obvious advantages and disadvantages of this, as I'm sure you are aware. Millennial parents are quick to share information and photos on social media as well, so just be aware of this as well. At the end of the day, your aim as a teacher is to teach effectively alongside millennial parents. And that will mean that you will need to adjust a few ways of doing things. Things you might not be happy about changing, but unfortunately, the classroom is not just four walls and a closed door anymore. So we need to find effective ways of dealing with millennial parents.